everybody. We just watched
Something.
Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
We watched season 1, episodes 2, 16, and 24. And before we get into this, I have to give a quick content warning. Content warnings for suggestions of rape, sexual assault, and potentially minor talks of suicide. So
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Well,
I guess we can start with the what do you guys think I think
you fucking hate it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think both of you know the answer already.
Yeah. You fucking hate it.
Like,
Yeah,
not
so,
even in a good hee-hee-ha-ha way, in a, like, fuck this, why was it made?
Well, I gave it a 3, and the only reason I gave it a 3 is it got 1 point for art direction, 1 point for the soundtrack, and 1 point for it being so bad it's funny. So.
I thought we went to... It's
go.
fine.
Well...
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. The negative scale confuses me.
It's fine.
Because I have an MAO, I just say what I scored it on there most of the time.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
So I guess it would get negative points. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, so we're not starting on the first episode. We're starting on the second episode. So, As you know, everybody's trapped in a game for life. Because if you die in the game, you die for real. That's literally the entire premise of this. That's it. And they're trapped in the game. Anyway.
Finally.
It's the first time we're going to hold a meeting about defeating that first boss that we found, because we finally found the first boss of this intense video game action game. And then we have an anime intro. And we hold a meeting in a small auditorium coliseum thing. And a blue-haired dude named Diable? I don't know, I call him blue hair. Calls himself a knight, and they're like, haha, there's no job systems here. But it's fine. We found the boss. He's at the top of this tower. Let's go tell everyone in the town beginning that we can beat the game. Everyone is teaming up, and Kirito is like, what? I don't have anybody to team up with. So he scoots over to someone in a cape and asks if they want to team up. And they go, okay. And their name is Asuna because you can see it over their health bar, and now they are in a party. But then some dude comes down and goes, I want to talk to you. Some of you need to apologize to the 2,000 people that have died so far, i.e. the beta testers, because you left us to the dust to die, and you took all the good spots, and you didn't even help any of us. And I'm also sure that someone here was in the beta, so you should apologize for it. There's like 30 people here.
Like literally there's like he's like, some of you have to be beta testers, and there's like 30 people sitting there, and it's like, do they like, there's like there's like 10,000 players in the game or something like that, like,
and
do one
these
of these
30 have
really
to be
yeah, but Kirito, or Dorito-kun, of course, is a beta tester, so
of course
this was there for him to feel guilty or some shit.
Anyway, the beta testers wrote this entire thing, this one dude says, because he came up and was like, this free guidebook that we were all given? Beta testers wrote it. And the boss, by the way, in the book that you needed to have read, is a kobold lord. He has assistants, blah, blah, blah. That night, everyone is celebrating, eating some bread. We see Asuna just sitting there. Kirito comes over, he's like, hi, I like to eat things. You should put some of this on it, and it's cream on your bread to make it better. And she does, and she's like, I didn't come here to eat food, I came here to be myself and not sit at the inn and rot away. And this makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make, like, I kind of get the idea of, like, I gotta keep moving or whatever, like, and not just like sit there and do nothing. But, like, the whole thing of her being like, I have to do this to stay myself and shit, like, it doesn't make fucking sense.
No.
Like, what the fuck do you mean by this? So that's neat.
Like, if they expanded at all on her backstory prior to the game, they don't. Maybe we could have found some reason why she's like, I need to keep moving. But there's none. There's nothing at all.
Yeah, like, I don't understand this state, like, because, like, before the game, you were just a fucking, like, high school girl, so what do you mean by, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, but whatever, a lot of this doesn't make sense, so let's keep going.
Anyway, So, Asuna and Kirito are at a party for the first time, and everyone is headed off to the first boss of the game. So, okay, time to fight the boss. And wahoo, the fight ensues, and Asuna shockingly isn't a beginner. She's good at everything she does. We see that one blue-haired dude trying to one-on-one the big guy, but it's weird because he has a different sword than he did in the beta. So now blue-haired dude is dying, and the others were attacked too. Kirito is called a beta tester, and blue-haired is like, yeah, I was in the beta too. Please beat the boss for everyone. So he just dies, even though there literally was a health potion in front of him.
Yeah, he could have just not died, but then people would have found out he was a beta tester or something. He's like guilty, so he's like, I'll just die. But it's like, that's fucking stupid, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
Anyway, so they have a fight, and Asuna and Kirito do their attack, and they can both do this, and Suna's cape gets fucking removed, and it's like, oh my god, she's so pretty! Oh my god! Or like she's a girl, but I'm pretty sure it's just she's pretty.
Yeah.
And then blue hair. Nope, wait. And then we get knocked back at Asuna, and Kirito has low health. But then the big Axeman steps in and attacks everyone, and orders everyone. They're like, okay, you can recover. And then Kirito and Asuna do the attackies now that they were recovered, and Kirito gets the final strike, and also gets the secret bonus that blue hair wanted. And he's like, okay, but the dude whose hair looks like a mace comes back, and he's like, why did you let the blue hair dude die? Like, I'm literally blaming you for telling him the wrong information because you're a filthy beta tester and you got him killed. You're a fucking killer. You murdered him, and now everyone's accusing him. So Kirito
and then
just
Kirito goes,
yeah. Yeah,
basically. Like, don't call me a beta tester. Those are newbies. And I fucking die every time. Anyway.
I believe he says, I'm not like any of them. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's literally like, I'm not just a beta tester. That's a fucking newbie thing. I was the best beta tester. I got the furthest in the game. And it's like, okay.
I fought the boss on the furthest floor above, and I'm more important than any other information broker. And then they're like, oh my god, you're a cheater. Or, as we call it, a beater.
Yeah, they're like a beta tester and a cheater. He's a beater.
That's such a great name to use. Thanks, guys. You picked a perfect name.
And then he goes, beater, I like that.
And he puts on the fucking cloak that he got, and it's so fucking edgy because it's all black. And it's pointy and just, oh
it's like
my god.
Giant black, like, trench coat looking thing.
Anyway, so he goes to leave because he's like, don't fucking talk to me. And then Asuna runs up and goes, how'd you know my name? And he's like, you literally can see it above your health bar. And she kind of squints. He goes, oh.
Kirito, is that your name? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, bitch. And then he's like, go join a guild or something because you're too good at this game. And then, like, he disbands the party and just leaves. It's so dumb.
I guess here would be the best point to talk about the rest of this arc because, spoiler alert, after this episode, we literally go to the next arc, which is, like, essentially a separate season. So, it's, like, completely different. Oh my god. Okay, so, Kirito from that point's like, I am only a solo player, which has been his thing from the get-go, because he has to be the cool lone wolf character, I fucking guess. He ends up joining a guild, though, because he finds a guild of low-leveled people who are all, like, nice and friends in IRL, and he's like, that's kind of cool, I'm gonna help them. But he hides his level from them for some reason. He's like, if they knew I was a higher level, they wouldn't want me in their guild. And I'm like, is that true, though? Because, like, I don't know. It'd probably be pretty fucking useful, but okay, whatever.
Like, most people do want to leave alive.
Yeah.
That is kind of their goal.
Is like, yeah, and, like, the guild is, like, 4 dudes, 1 girl, by the way. Spoiler alert, the girl, like, ends up falling in love with Kirito. By the way, this guild is introduced to, like, I think it's at the beginning of episode 3. They're in the show until the halfway point of episode 3, so about 15 minutes. Kirito joins
So
this
it's
guild.
worthless.
Yeah, Kirito joins this guild, and one of them's like, okay, I'm gonna go buy us a house, and then the rest of them are like, okay, we're gonna go level, and they walk into this trap, this like trapped room where they can't teleport, and Kirito can't protect them, and they all die. And Kirito takes this very personally. Not that any of the dudes, like, those don't really fucking matter, but he remembers the girl very fondly. So that has some kind of impact on him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. And then the dude that wasn't present for it, like, literally jumps off the edge of the map to kill himself because he's mad. He's like, you should have never been allowed to join our guild, and then he jumps off the edge of the map. And it's like, okay. Glad they handled that gracefully. Anyway, after that, there's like an arc, or sorry, I say an arc, it's an episode. There's like various episodes where Kirito just meets like one person, like he meets like, this girl Silica, who is like, this cute girl that everyone wants on their team is like a fucking mascot, and he like helps her pet died, and he's like helping her get her pet back, and she's like, why are you helping me? And he's like, because you look like my little sister. And she's like, okay, cool. And then, it was really just a ploy to, like, get this bad guild out, which he says another one of my favorite lines, where he holds a blade up to this bad woman's, like, throat, and he's like, just to be clear, I'm a beta tester, and it's supposed to be badass, and it's just really fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into the arcs where the story doesn't really matter, but it's like the Kirito and Asuna are getting close arcs. You find out Asuna joined a guild, and it is like the strongest guild in the game. Kirito's still solo, but he's like with Asuna all the time now. Asuna's supposed to be like the super fucking badass, super strong girl. Once her and Kirito start having romantic interests, she just becomes a fucking housewife. Like, she cooks him dinner.
Yeah.
I wish I was joking.
You're not.
That's literally what happens.
I also wish you were joking.
They have a moment where they find Yui, who is this little girl who has amnesia, and they become a family and, like, live in the fucking woods together. Anyway, the guild leader of Asuna's guild ends up being the fucking main antagonist. You find this out randomly while they're in the dungeon, trying to work their way up to level 100. They're on, like, level 75 or some shit. They find that out. Kirito is basically like, okay, we're gonna fight one-on-one. You're really fucking overpowered, but hey, we're gonna fucking do this. And then he's like, if I lose, I need you to do me a favor and make sure that Asuna can't kill herself for a little while, please, because I don't want her to get upset and kill herself for me. And he's like, I can do that. So they start having a fight, and it's very obvious that Kirito is going to lose the fight. Whenever, like, the guild leader dude swings his blade at Kirito, fucking Asuna, who was paralyzed prior to, jumps in front of the fucking blade and literally dies in Kirito's arms. And he's very upsetty spaghetti over this. He gets stabbed. He should be dead, but he's like, no, I have willpower. And he uses his last moments to stab the main antagonist. The world, like, falls apart. People are deleting the game. Everybody is automatically logged out. Kirito, Asuna, and the lead antagonist are left standing in this, like, heaven-like area, watching the world crumble below them. They talk to the main antagonist, and Kirito is basically like, why'd you do this? Antagonist dude is basically like, I forgot a long time ago, but whenever I was a kid, I wanted to find a castle, a giant steel castle floating in the sky like this, and he was like, it just became my thing, like, I wanted to make my own world with my own rules, and basically become, like, a god, but not in the sense of, like, how most antagonists, I guess, do. Like, he was just kind of like, I just want to make my own world, whatever.
Yeah.
And he basically is, like, admits he got too power hungry, whatever. And then he's like, okay, see you guys. they should have logic. If you follow the fucking logic of the universe, Asuna and Kirito should have died here. Asuna especially, because she died prior to this. But
yeah,
for some fucking reason,
she's a main character.
Yeah, for some fucking reason, they don't die. They wake up in the new world, or not in the new world, in the real world. And then we go into Arc 2. Which we didn't watch the first episode of, but we watched the second episode of. So, Gam, if you want to go ahead.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Sadly, yes.
So we find out that there's some new game that's going on that's like Sword Art Online, but is about fairies now and flying around, and the main guy goes to the bartender dude and is like, what? Tell me about the game. And he tells him about the game and says there's skills instead of levels and they want it to be more about athletics and shit. And he's like, what's this got to do with girl, though? And he's like, she's in the game, you fucking idiot. And he's like, okie dokie, I'll go find her then. So the main guy goes home and his sister nearly fucking dies eating a muffin. He looks at his game helmet and he's like, save me. And he puts it on and he goes inside the game. Then he makes a character as edgy as possible. Then he falls into the world and he's like, oh my god, this world looks great. And then a glitch appears and he falls into a void and wakes up in a forest. And then he checks his stats and he's like, wait a minute, these are all my Sword Art Online stats. And I have all of my items, but they're all question marks. He's like, wait, is this one item here? And it's a diamond. And it turns into the girl that's his daughter. That's really weird. And then she's like, hey, this game is basically a copy of Sword Art Online servers, just reskinned. And he's like, oh, okay, how do I fly? Because I need to get up to the cage that's up top of the big tower in the center.
That's literally how the conversation goes, too. Like, that's, yep.
Yeah. Like, how do I fly? And she's like, here, use this nunchuck and you can fly. And then we cut to a new girl and her simp. They're flying away and they get attacked by red dudes. The simp dies and she gets caught. They're mugging her. And then the main guy shows up and kills him in such a badass way and saves the girl. And then she's like, oh, and he's like, ugh. And that's it.
Yep, yeah. That's it. That's it. At least Kirito gets his daughter back now in the form of a pixie, which is pretty cool.
So we are doing another large jump. So do we want to fill in again?
Oh, sure. Nothing really happens.
Oh my god.
You find out the girl that Kirito sees at the end of that episode is named Lifa, and she's actually his sister cousin. And yes, I'm saying sister cousin because Kirito was like fucking adopted, I guess, by like his aunt and his uncle. And they were raised as brother and sister, and his sister Sugu didn't know that they weren't brother and sister until he like went into a Sword Art Online coma, and then her mom told her.
Yeah.
And then she was like, wow, you mean he's not my brother? I'm in love with him now. No, I am not joking. She literally even says, I found out you weren't my brother, and then I fell in love with you. Which is pretty fucking cool. I would say probably the funniest part of this arc, and I say funny as in bad writing, it's a bad show, is that, Sugu is in love with Kirito, and Kirito is his online name, his real name's like Kazuto or something like that, I don't fucking remember. So she's in love with her fucking brother cousin, IRL, and she knows that he's in love with Asuna, which, by the way, I don't think, did we mention Asuna's like in like an arranged marriage type thing?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The marriage? No.
Yeah, so she's like in an arranged marriage with like a fucking creep who she hates, but like for some reason her parents don't know that she hates him, and he goes into her hospital room to smell her hair. No, I'm not joking.
Frequently, by the way.
So
Frequently.
yeah. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent, I guess. I needed to mention him because he's the main antagonist of this fucking series, or this arc. Anyway,
can I bring up that
yeah?
I think it happens in the episode after the one we watch, that he chose like the edgiest race, Spriggan, right?
Oh,
it apparently, I believe they mentioned, they're like, oh, it's the worst race you could possibly have picked. Like, they can't fly.
Be real, I don't fucking remember. No, he can fly. He can fly.
Well, not as long as everybody else, though.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's something fucking stupid.
They're not nearly as strong.
They needed to debuff him a little bit because he's had all of his fucking stats from SAO.
Yeah, of course. They had to do something. You know. Of course.
But, anyway, so Sugu's in love with Kirito IRL. She knows he's in love with Asuna. That makes her real sad. So she plays the fucking Alfheim online game. Leafa, or Sugu, Leafa's her in-game name, and Kirito don't know who they are within the game. So she doesn't know it's her brother, and he doesn't know it's his sister.
Yeah.
So, partway through, Sugu decides, you know what, I can't be in love with my brother cousin, that's stupid. I'm just gonna fall in love with this Kirito guy in the game. To which then, when they're about to go save Asuna, Kirito is like, okay, we're gonna go, I'm gonna see Asuna again. She's like, wait, Asuna? And he's like, yeah? And she's like, are you my brother? And he's like, Sugu? And she's like, oh my god, and logs off, and then they have to, like, confront her feelings for him, to which the result is basically him just being like, I love Asuna, whatever. Yeah. So they figure that out, and then she's like, you know what, okay, I'm gonna help you save your girlfriend's life. And then episode 24.
Which, so Tiny Pixie Baby is here and opening up this big old square thing that we're not supposed to be inside. Cut to us inside somewhere where there's no maps for it, but she knows exactly where Asuna is. So follow me, Daddy, and then they run through some tunnels and break through some walls and wind up at the top of the tree. And he's like, there's no fucking city up here, what the hell? This is a big old fucking lie, what the shit? But they see a cage and they're like, okay, let's run. And Asuna is laying on the bed, and then Kirito and the child are just at the door, and she's like, and good thing Yui can just break the cage door and to get rid of it, and they walk in and just hold each other for a while. But Asuna can't be logged out because of intense coding that Yui can't break through. Speaking of which, Kirito gets sucked down by a black hole thing. By the way, this is going to be the episode that is mainly the content warning.
Yeah.
Yui is also getting erased kind of something, but something is coming, and she's like, be careful! And then they try to hold hands, but the gravity's too much, and it's the Fairy King, i.e. Creepy Dude. And this is his gravity, by the way, and he just straight up accesses Kirito's brain for his memories, because he can. And also the people who haven't woken up are basically what entirely power this place. That, like, 3,000 people that didn't wake up are what is keeping it alive. There's no god here except me, so let's have a party before I fucking alter your souls, including chaining up Asuna by her hands and increasing the gravity for his own pleasure. And then I fucking love how you smell, Asuna. I copied it from real life, and it took a really long time. And then we beat the shit out of Kirito for a while, and it what?
Does he say that?
Yeah, he literally is like, I took a really long time to get your smell just right.
Yeah.
Oh, the smell. I thought you said spell.
Oh,
like,
no.
That's how you spell Asuna. I was
No.
It's not that hard to spell.
Fuck.
Can you use it in a sentence?
H. Fuck. Fuck. Anyway, then we beat the shit out of Kirito for a while and turn down his pain absorption thingy so he feels it more. And we basically get told, if it goes down past 3, then things start happening in real life. And then we basically are going to rape Asuna, which is great. I love it. awesome, thanks. Totally wanted to watch this.
Yeah.
And we rip off her top violently. And he's like, I'm probably going to go to your hospital room after with this and put it on a big screen TV and rewatch this while I fuck you again. And she's just like, ah! And he starts to eat her fucking tears and assault her while Kirito passes out. And that's what happens.
It's not a funny scene, but it's a funny scene. You know what I mean? It's like just so over the fucking top. Fucking. It's funny because SAO went, how do we write a villain that people will hate? And the easiest way to do that is to make them a rapist, and that's what they did. And then they were like,
but
let's make him even more evil. And
not
he's
even like a well-written rapist.
No, fuck no.
He's literally a trope of a trope of a trope to a point that it's like, is this supposed to be funny?
Yeah, like he's laughing maniacally while ripping her clothes off and licking her tears and saying that they taste sweet. And it's like, what the fuck was the person doing when they wrote this?
Yeah,
like,
do they have a rape? I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to worry about that sort of thing. Anyway, so Kirito's passed out. He's just like, I don't want to deal with it. And then a voice talks to him saying, like, you're giving the fuck up. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, yeah, you are. And it's the antagonist from the original series of Sword Art Online. He basically shows up in his brain and goes, don't be a pussy. So he stands up with the sword in him, which falls out. And Kirito's gonna fucking kill the dude. Because he now has admin privileges because the original antagonist, I guess, gave him that. So he makes that dude level 1. So he has no system power here. Kirito calls up Excalibur, gives it to him, sets his the dude's pain absorption to 0, which, remember, because I know Spooky's gonna want to talk about this because we talked about it. If it's below 3, it affects you in real life.
Yep.
And then they have a totally awesome, not one-sided sword fight that is not just blocking, and then it's a bad sword fight. Nothing happens. And then a small cut on his face makes him scream like a child, and then Kirito's like, and cuts his fucking arm off, and he screams more, and then he gets cut in fucking half. And then he's tossed into the fucking air and speared onto Kirito's sword, killing him. So Asuna is saved, Kirito does a big cry, and then he makes it all about him because he's the more important one.
Yeah,
literally.
Also, Yui is safe because she can't die either.
Oh, yeah, she's...
Of course.
She saved herself in his helmet memory so that she can always be with him in whatever game they go to. Spoilers, I've watched this next season. I didn't see her at all.
Wow.
So he logs out Asuna and promises to come see her. So previous antagonist comes up, says hi. Don't thank me, I have a price for my help. Here's this egg. It makes a new world, basically, and you have to admin it. So, yeah. And Yui comes back because she hid in his nerve gear, and then he wakes up in real life to find his sister cousin staring straight at him and says it's over. And she's like, okay, but now it's midnight, but fuck it. So I'm gonna go to the hospital, like, right now, even though it's snowing, right now, at the hospital, right now. Yeah. That's how it ends.
So then the beginning of the next episode
ends.
is my favorite scene from the whole series that we don't get to talk about because it's probably the dumbest fucking bullshit I've ever seen. So Kirito shows up to the hospital and the antagonist IRL is waiting for him in the parking lot and stabs him in the arm. You see the guy and yeah.
The like you told us this before, but I didn't get to say this before. The antagonist who got his hand chopped off, waist cut off, and stabbed in the eye.
With his pain receptors at 0, which is supposed to affect you in real life.
Yeah, so it did affect him in real life, guys. He has a gnarly scar over one of his eyes now.
A scar that would have taken months to heal, but it's fine.
It's fine. So anyway, he stabs Kirito in his fucking arm. And, like, throws him onto the ground and stuff, and he's basically like, I'm gonna go in there, and I'm gonna marry Asuna, and I'm gonna have sex with her, and Kirito's like, you didn't have any power in the game, so you don't have any power in real life either, and fucking, hits the knife out of his hand, and like he literally grabs the back of his head and slams his face into a car, and then holds the knife to his throat and starts pushing it in, and then decides, "You're not good enough for me to kill. I'm just gonna leave you for the cops." And then walks into the hospital, which is pitch black, and there are no workers there because as you know, doesn't know how fucking hospitals work.
Well, yeah, because Spooky, as you know, all hospitals close at 8 p.m. Every single worker goes home. They turn off all the lights and electronics. Nothing is on to save electricity, and everybody goes home.
Yep, that's what happens apparently in the hospital. And then Dorito-kun is reunited with Asuna-chan, and I guess they live happily ever after. I don't know. He uses the seed thing that the Sword Art Online creator gave him, and it just brings... It's Alfheim, but it has the Sword Art Online tower in the middle, because remember, Kirito only cleared 75 floors or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, he wants to go back and clear all of them.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's a really fucking awful show that spawned... Somehow this became really popular, and it ended up spawning, like, all of the fucking generic-ass isekai we see now. And, fun fact, the isekai that kind of spawned Sword Art Online was Jobless Reincarnation, which we watched.
Yep.
And if you watch that, it makes sense that Sword Art Online came from that, because it's just like, wow, women sure are useless, hee hee hoo hoo, because every fucking girl that Kirito meets just becomes a useless fucking, like, there's Asuna, who just becomes like his housewife.
Oh my god.
And then every other girl is there to just be jealous of Asuna. And that's like it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they're basically his harem that don't fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a harem and a girlfriend because you have to, of course.
There's like a ranger...
He's too edgy and cool for sex.
So there's like a ranger type, I believe, that comes from... That basically starts to become someone else in the next one where there's guns. There's like a fucking Beastmaster cat girl. There's like a blacksmith who's like actually pretty cool, but she doesn't exist. There's also like
and I like Silica
dude.
Too. She's
I think there's a dude also towards the end, like with red hair. I don't remember that much.
Oh, you got Klein. He's actually in the first episode and kind of throughout the series.
Yeah.
He's like a newbie that Kirito helps for a minute, and then Kirito is like, I don't join parties, and leaves him, and then feels guilty about it for the rest of the show.
Yeah. So when I first watched this, because I've seen Sword Art Online, I've seen the entire first season and some of the second where they get guns. And Kirito is for some reason a girl. Don't really know why. I've seen it. It was fine when I watched it the first time, and then I've slowly like thought about it over the years and just been like, wow, I fucking hate this show. And I put this in my notes, but there's another anime that just did it better, and that would be Log Horizon, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I've never watched Log Horizon, but I've heard decent things.
It basically actually brings in MMO stuff where it's like, okay, we need the tanks up front and then the mages behind that, and then the attackers need to go in behind the tanks so that they don't take damage. Okay, when is your spell cooldown done? Okay, cool, go. And it's like actual World of Warcraft style raids, and it's actually pretty good. And the main character...
does Yuki Kajura do the soundtrack?
Let me finish. The main character isn't fucking Kirito and doesn't have a fucking harem. So, bonus. Wow. So there you go. Log Horizon did it fucking better. It's not the win-all, be-all of video game fucking other world shit, but like, still did it better.
Yeah,
that would be Captain N.
Yeah, no, fucking Sword Art Online is... It sucks, too, because it was A1 Studio that they're a good studio with like their good team. Like this show, I mean, like it's aged some now. Definitely, it came out in like 2012, I think. I could be wrong on that. Regardless, it looked like super fucking good for the time, and it still like holds up. Like the art direction, good and stuff.
The music
the soundtrack
slaps
is fucking
for some reason.
awesome. It's fucking Yuji Kajira. They got my favorite fucking composer for this bullshit. Like there's like so many things, and it's just like the same thing happened with Jobless Reincarnation. Jobless Reincarnation had fucking beautiful animation, had a good soundtrack, had good voice acting, and it's ass. The same exact thing happened with Sword Art Online, where it's like, here's all these good things. It's ass, and it's like, cool, thanks.
Yep.
Glad that this was a thing. But I will say, Sword Art Online, I think, is a really good like hang out with your friends with some drinks, watch something bad to make fun of it type show. Probably one of my favorite shows to do that with, just because there's so many like moments of like, what the fuck is like, what is going on? Why is this happening? Why are the rules just broken here? Like in the first season, one of the big reveals is like Kirito has been hiding is that he has a unique ability that no one else in the game has to dual wield swords. Yeah. It's like, okay, first off, why the fuck are you, like, hiding this? That's kind of fucking stupid. Second off, why can you not dual wield in this fucking MMO? Like,
if it's especially if it's a copy of the original servers, why can you not dual wield? And it's literally just because they wanted to nerf him. That's it. That's the only reason.
Yeah. In the sequel, yeah. I was just talking about...
he was nerfed.
Yeah. But, like, I was talking about just, like, in the original, why in this futuristic MMO can you not dual wield fucking swords?
Yeah, that too.
That's fucking stupid. That's so dumb. Like, dual wielding is not a thing.
Even the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV, you can dual wield swords. Like, come on. What the fuck?
Like, I played fucking Mabinagi, and I dual wielded in that shit.
Yeah.
Like, why can you not fucking... It's dumb. But anyway, yeah, so he gets, like, the super cool fucking unique ability that no one else gets, and then he alludes into Alfheim and he's nerfed, quote-unquote, which, I mean, the example of him being nerfed is that he, literally, the first fight he gets into, he fucking annihilates everybody because...
Yeah, because he still has all his stats.
Yeah.
Other than
he's, like, one of the best players in the game, yeah.
That's it. They just took away dual wield and his items. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Nerfed.
So, pretty fucking cool. Good fucking show.
How do we feel about it?
Yeah, how do you guys rate this?
I fucking hate it. 1. And it's only a 1 because the music and it's a good premise. It's just fucking awful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna...
Like, I'd always heard that, like, what was it? Season 1 was good, but season 2 was fucking awful.
Oh no! Yeah,
I think that's what I heard, or was it the other way around?
It's It's the first half of season 1. It's not even that it's good; it's that it's the best part.
Yes.
Okay, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's bad. But Alfheim Online is way worse than Sword Art Online.
Yep.
Admittedly, but all of it's bad. So
yeah.
And then I didn't watch anything past Al. Apparently, Alfheim, the later 2 episodes we watched, a lot of people say Alfheim Online is, like, literally the worst arc of the entire show. So, that's why I wanted to make sure to get in 2 of those.
So, hilariously, I actually scored it the exact same as Gam because of the music and the premise, and that's it.
It's just fucking awful. It's the like, this is another one where I'm like, I can understand why people are fans of this, but I don't understand like why you would still be a fan of this. I can understand like when it came out being like, man, this is, you know what, it's not that great, but I'm having a lot of fun. But like, still now in current year being like, Sword Art Online, man, Sword Art Online. It's like, really?
Yeah. Like, I can understand being, like, a fucking 13-year-old and being like, whoa, cool, I'm like Kirito. You know what I mean? But it's like...
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
Well, yeah, he picks the edgiest clothing. He picks the edgiest race. he acts like the edgiest character. He may as well be like 13 years old.
At one point, they call him in the show the Black Swordsman, which is so fucking funny because that's the title of Guts from Berserk.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They basically say Kirito is Guts, and it's like, okay.
I'm almost tempted to ask if I could show at least Spooky some Log Horizon so that like we could talk about it or something, because Log Horizon for me was just the far superior form of it. It did get a lot weaker towards the end of what I remember, but I do remember it being fairly good.
I've heard like decent things about Log Horizon.
We'll watch like a season of it together, Spooky. We'll just spend like a day and just watch a whole season of anime together. We'll like, I don't know, drawing or something.
I'm sure. Sounds good to me.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us for the super fun episode of podcast where we talked about my favorite show.
Yeah. Actually, okay, hold on. I'm curious.
Online season 2, I will leave.
I'm legitimately curious, Gam.
Yeah.
Which would you rather watch, this or Bleach?
This, because at least there'd be interesting visuals.
Okay. I was just legitimately curious.
And at least while I'm watching it, well, it's okay. Here's the thing: if I watch Bleach, I'm gonna sit there the whole time being like, "Man, this is just fucking awful," and I can't stand this. If I sit there and watch this, the whole time I'll be thinking, "This looks really nice and sounds really nice. You could have done this instead. You could have done something a lot better. You could have written something about this. You could have written something about that."
Yeah.
Like I would be making something better in my head. Whereas watching Bleach, there is nothing to grab there.
Yeah. No, I get that 100%. All right. No, I was just curious about
fun
that.
Time.
So, yeah.
All right. See you guys next time.
Goodbye.
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 Goo.